give me some decent return, isn't it?
Or whether you're investing 10,000 naira a month. I mean, it can be that
low.
Mundane, yes. Yes,
So that means your creative ability will have to come in here as a wealth manager.
Yes.
Because I'm going to pay you.
Oh, yes. So wealth managers, typically, we earn fees from the services we provide. So we judge based on your level. Where exactly are you on the ladder? What level are you? Are you middle level, where we call the mass affluent, or are you a high net worth individual? Your needs will be different. Or are you there, you're just starting up and you're looking to build up something, to set something up. So yours is a very, very simple case of just engaging the manager to help you achieve a disciplined approach to setting funds aside. So if you're at the lower level there, you find your space within the mutual funds. But you need an asset manager to help you, to advise on the specific type of mutual fund. Should you be looking at equities funds? Should you be looking at money market fund? Depending on your overall objectives. And then you can start at that level. But for the high net worth individuals, or for those that we call the mass affluent, they have a more complex situation. So you then have to keep looking through the portfolios, asset allocation, diversification, even in terms of currencies. What your obligations, in what currencies are you exposed? Do you have obligations in the future? So are you hedged against all of that? We have people who have children schooling abroad. So you had a lot of people who had to pull out their children from schools abroad last year because of the volatility in the foreign exchange. But if prior to that time you had invested such that that obligation had been put into consideration, and you had edged that by having investments so that you can have corresponding income in that same currency where you're exposed to, I mean, it will help you to create a soft landing or a cushion, so you wouldn't have had to maybe pull out your children from schools abroad. So it can be that.
A very direct question to you. Did the rich also cry last year in Nigeria? Yes or no? Broadly speaking.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, if they did, what I heard over the years, because there was so much money, in terms of wealth management, some wealth managers were told, oh, I'm at the airport in Heathrow, and there's somewhere in London, there's a Harrods, and I just found bracelet or wristwatch about $5,000, and I just want to buy it now. And I just call you, Damilola, and say, hey, can you just move this money from my account because I just want to buy this wristwatch? It's about $5,700 and all that. Did that happen last year? Or folks just moved back a little bit because times are hard?
That really didn't happen last year. And I don't think that would happen, we'll go back to that era. Well, I'm not saying that people would not indulge, but I think that every time there's a recession, every time there's a reset, it gives people the opportunity to rearrange their priorities. So sometimes we get caught up in the frenzy of this is what is in vogue, this is what I need to do now. Not necessarily because that is a need, it's just a want. So people learn to separate their needs from their wants. A lot of high net worth individuals who would ordinarily buy luxury apartments and earn very fantastic rental income from it had that affected by the recession. A lot of those luxury apartments are empty. So tenants that would have paid in millions to rent an apartment in Ikoyi, in VI and all of the likes, were cutting costs. You had companies who would put in staff, take up 20 apartments in a single block. Nobody was doing that anymore. So really and truly, just gave everybody the opportunity to actually rearrange their priorities. People started asking themselves, do I have to live in Ikoyi? Can I actually live in Lekki? You know, things like that. Or can't I buy a house in Bagada or Surulere? Do I have to buy a house in Banana Island? You know, things like that. So, but for those who have the money, you also gave them the opportunity to make good investments. a period of recession, there were a lot of opportunities. Prices were down. People were not really buying. So people who had money were able to redirect such monies to make very good investments. So you imagine if you took position in the equities market last year, what exactly would be your situation now? I mean, you would just be smiling. So really, it's all about learning to set our priorities right and speaking with the professionals to also help in guiding us.
Well, now that we're in the bull market, from the equity side of things, and fixed income is not looking bad really anyway, even if you discount inflation, and exchange rate is becoming, behaving itself a little bit with all the pumping in that is, central bank is doing in terms of FX. So is anything changing in terms of wealth management? What are you hearing from folks that they're retiring or working, still working hard, working edges and what have you to look? Can we look again into things? I hear the Dangote Cement is selling for billions of naira. Can you look up the papers once again for me if I still have some money down there?
Oh yes, you have a lot of that conversation going on now. It's a recurring thing. You would always have that happen. Ideally, the best time to buy is when the market is down. But a lot of times, people are too afraid to take that decision. And then when some people take that decision and then the market rallies, you have a lot of people come up and then they want to take position. So you might be coming in just a bit too late. What we try to do generally is to encourage a well-balanced portfolio. Ensure that your portfolio is well diversified. And consider your horizon before you take a decision. So if you have, let's take an example of someone who is retiring in another 5-10 years. You have 5-10 years ahead of you. I mean, so when we are building a portfolio for you, we'll be considering all of that. So is it the equities market? Even if you go into the equities market, you're looking at fundamentals of all of those equities, and then you know that you can stay in. So you're not going in because, okay, the market, it's a bull market now, and then you jump out because it's a bear market. You are not doing all of that. You're trying to create a diverse, and then you align the portfolio to meet that investor's primary objective.
That's why the word on the street, on the market street, is always talk to the professionals. And you're one of them. Thank you very much, Damilola Hassan, for coming this morning. We appreciate your time. She's the head of Wealth Management Division at Meristem Wealth Management here in Lagos. We'll be back after the break.